Welcome to the Hermitcraft recap. My name is Pixelriffs. Our writer is LoyXP. Captions on this video were provided by Liara. With past life now in full swing, many of the hermits are now living the quiet life. If all the chaos is happening on another server, you don't have to be concerned about it all being visited upon you with explosive force. At least until someone discovers another unexploded ordnance from the permit wars of earlier in 2025. But for now, while things are at least somewhat peaceful, let's take a look at all the events and mishaps that occurred on the Hermitcraft server this week. Starting with Joe Hills, who decides to repurpose an unused section of the Holmdel Museum for a melon and pumpkin farm, the better to trade with the farmers who are currently shredding their way through the wheat.
You know, you work so hard. Oh, I didn't realize that these guys were all going to run out of there as soon as Yeah, we're going to have to be smart about how we repair this wall.
His early experiments in gourd farming run into some quasi-connectivity issues, but after restructuring the farm and eventually installing a daylight detector as a timer, it's spitting out squash at an admirable rate. Meanwhile, the library is looking very much like a library, despite the Beetlejost being the administrator here. But even he has some good ideas for how to classify the lecterns of information so visitors can find what they're looking for. You've heard of the Dewey Decimal System, now enjoy the Joey Decimal System.
It turns out you guys have way too many standards, okay? I've been around a long time, and it seems like the longer you're around, the more competing standards there are. Yes, that's right. You should run. They're terrifying.
Well, no matter the nomenclature, this section of Holmdel is already destined to display a whole lot of water. Seeing how Sal the King Salmon Head tribute was looking lonely in the empty plot of land that Joe provided, Jevin paves over the whole thing with smooth stone and then fills it with a shin-deep level of water. And now we're having horrific flashbacks to when Doc M just drowned the whole institute with a flying machine. On the upside, it lowered the moire effect of the massive smooth stone field, which, if you're wondering, is the scientific name of what happens when you scroll past a grid with your anti-aliasing on low and your eyes go kinda wonky. As for King Salmon Head's other land, Jevin makes sure it's protected from any invaders with a fortress wall, spanning the perimeter of the castle keep he's been lovingly sculpting for the past couple of months. Though unlike most Minecraft castles, this one actually might get finished soon enough. Jevin even says so himself, as he only has a stargazing room left to build, which will add an extra star for every time he's drafted an observatory.
I am very happy with the progress that we have made today. We finished the floor plan, we finished all the building for the floor plan, we finished up the front gate, made the entrance arches.
Somewhere much more remote, Keralis builds an insulated corridor to add less frostbite whenever he has to go to that side of his research laboratory. Having recently taken 180 degrees on his base theming, he is now living out of the frozen outpost in the snowy neighborhood of XB Crafted's ocean. So fittingly, the degrees have long gone into the minus. To protect from the cold, Keralis even gets a custom-made 3D Ushanka hat. And to profit from the cold, he builds an auto-crafting snowblock farm, because with the bushes not growing in the Arctic, he's only left with snow layers to decorate with.
See? No hands. I've been placing so many snow caps, this is what I've heard. This is my reward, pretty much.
Of course, the first question on everyone's mind when Keralis brings XB Crafted a new hat is, does it fit on big Keralis?
Maybe? I don't know how to do that.
Regardless of the size of his head, Keralis and XB have the chance to get inside every hermit's head when they play a few rounds of Guess the Hermit. And as people who've watched every Hermitcraft video for almost a decade now, it's actually pretty funny to see what impression the hermits have of each other. Although we too associate sheep exclusively with Zedaf.
Mr. Nub playing the long game. I once used as a producer log. Season 2, episode 4.
Just because you didn't ask the right questions.
At this point though, we associate vintage beef with basically all animals, so it's no surprise to see him scouting for cats in this week's episode. As someone who's organised UHC matches forever, he's actually quite skilled at herding cats. But the whole purpose of scooping them from their villages is to coop them up in his barn as ambience. Tune in if you want cute stories about real-life barn cats.
Okay, it's right there. That's perfect. You sit, not on the saw blade though. Not on the saw blade. Oh, come on. That's not the best placement for you. There you go. Sit right there.
He's still bringing the barnyard to his fan art gallery too, which gets a few extra pieces of leaf litter and a pet chicken. But from there, he heads to the court and goes hard in the paint, setting a new personal best of 14 for single-player basketball, although he's still chasing the all-time record. And finally, there's CubFan135, who's in charge of Basketball, so of course there's more of that. More meaning even more players, because Cub actually tests the first 2-on-2 game, with Rendog, Azumavoid, and Skizzleman all throwing their hat into the ring, and then throwing themselves into the ring, because that's how you earn points in this game.
Oh, I got hit by a gasp. Oh, I got hit by another gasp.
Ren's there.
Whoever hasn't yet gotten to the Ball is Life minigame will receive invitations in the mail. Wouldn't want that Basketball trophy to be too easy to win. Still, the server mates will cheer on their competitors from the tribunes. They are the only player heads Cub had lying around after all. Again, it's increasingly ridiculous seeing Cub try and pretend his wobbling parkour course has anything to do with real basketball, a game where traveling gets you penalty, while here traveling is kind of the whole point actually.
Yeah, let's go.
Oh my god!
Oh, I got blocked by the gas, dude.
I don't understand how it's so crazy to not be able to accidentally land on one when there's 700 of them.
And that's about it for this week's recap. Our writer is SloyXP and my name is Pixelrift. Captions on this video were provided by Liara. Don't forget to leave a like while you're still here and subscribe so you won't miss future recaps. Thanks for watching and we'll see you next week.